It's about to go down.
Lovely pass, and here he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skilled by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo that win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada in there too, with the Netherlands.
Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden, Barrett, and an early touch and an excellent...
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
So it was a weekend of not much to write home about for Nigeria and Nigerians all over the world, if you ask me. Just, let's say, not 2-3 weeks ago, Nigerians were celebrating, but this time around, from boxing to the UFC to football, Nigeria all tasted defeat. Well, nevertheless, the show must go on, and that's how I welcome you to today's episode of Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Acho. Salifu Usman is right here with me. Salifu, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Afa. Just indeed, like you say, terrible weekend for Nigeria sport. From all fronts, we'll get a very bad or negative result. But notwithstanding, I think we'll recover from this.
Yes, we will from this, and that's how we'll begin today's episode. But first, we'll begin on the home front. That's talking about from the NFF, where the NFF Electoral Committee, of course, the chairman that's talking about Ikunegbe, Anthony Malik, has declared that his team are ready to accomplish the task at hand with utmost integrity and credibility, saying transparency and diligence will be their watchword. Speaking after the Congress of the NFF constituted his committee and election appeals committee in Lagos, Malik assured that the business of giving Nigeria a new NFF executive committee will be done without fear or favor within the 42-day time span. Malik, who was also a special assistant to the Attorney General of the Federation, at the annual general meeting, set aside the provisions of the NFF Statutes 2010 and the NFF Electoral Code 2009 that provide for a conduct of elections. This enabled the Congress to set up both the Electoral Committee and the Election Appeals Committee with a mandate for conduct of the elections on the 30th of September 2022 in Benin City, Edo State. Other members of the committee are Justice Abdul Kadir Zakaria, Vice Chairman, Babatunde Ogala, who is also a member, Daha Umar Daura Danburam, who is also a member, and Gambo Mama member, while Barrister Ifeanyi Itike and Barrister Ransom Ariyo are alternate members. So as it is, all is now set. I think Electoral Committee has already been set up. So it's to say that, well, come 30th of September 2022, we should be having a new president to oversee the affairs of Nigerian football for the next 4 years.
By the grace of God, and the committees from they have 40 days to operate. Good one is good to reassure the participant that it will be open and free and fair to everybody. And that is the most important is you have to open it and then provide a naming great ground to be fair to all sides. So that, and let everybody, whoever believes he has the capacity to manage the Nigeria Football Federation, let it be decided by the general view of the Congress, those who has the voting right to choose. And a whole lot of people, as per I think, if I'm not mistaken, by now we have not less than about 15 of them, all seeking one to succeed and Mayupinic. And those individuals that are coming to try to signify their interest, we know the pretenders. Some are just a mere pretenders.
Yeah, sure.
Some are just a serious. We know those that are serious-minded. It's just that we are in the country, even in our larger politics, when some people try to scheme another person out just for the people, nobody say they are not interested in the job, but just for the sake of saying, let me just block another person.
Spoilers, really.
Spoil another person. They'll try and do it. So a lot of people, and some people are also there for money's sake.
Yeah.
You buy phone for me. At the end of the day, okay, I'm going to step down for you. Now negotiate. So some people have seen it as a business means. So you go out, you say you get your interest. At the end of the day, obviously you're not interested, but just begin to show some level. Say you are serious. Call some press, go somewhere else to declare intention, and then of the I'm going and negotiate with another serious passport. And well, I'm going to step down for you, but not free.
Yeah.
So we know how those things have been done in Nigerian football and even in other politics, but we know those who are serious contenders. So the onus lies on the delegates and the officials to ensure that put Nigeria first. Who has what's at stake? Because if you in the last 8 years, if you look at where we are and where we are at the moment, are we making progress? You have to look at all those things, and is this where we are supposed to be in the 21st century? Nigeria's football is this where we are supposed to be. So you have to look at it and to have the capacity for a game of football who have become a money-making venture for people. But we are strong at home. Our league is anything to write home about. Our national team are strong at all front. So we need somebody who will rejuvenate all those things.
I agree with you completely. Anyway, now on to some other news coming from the local scene where Super Eagles B head coach, that's Salisu Yusuf, has stated that the mission of the team is not to avenge the defeat of Nigeria by Ghana on the road to the FIFA World Cup qualifying, game in Qatar for Qatar 2022. And the coach who took the Eagles B to a silver finish in 2018, Morocco, said his current team is more concerned about qualifying for Algeria 2023 rather than aim for a revenge. He said, I won't say we are seeking revenge against Ghana because of what's happened in the last game on the road to Qatar World Cup. We want to win and qualify for the final stage of the competition in Algeria next year. That is basically what we are pursuing. Whatever description anyone gives it should be a matter of choice, the coach said after a session at the training at the MK Abiola Stadium, which incidentally will be venue of that encounter. That encounter will take place, of course, on
the first match in Accra.
The team. Okay.
The first match in Accra.
First match in Accra. Yes, that's Cape Coast. That's 28 August. While the return leg will be on the 3rd of September. Well, 28. That's this weekend actually.
Yeah.
So I mean, the coach has stated that this is not about revenge, but it's basically for us to book a ticket to, the CHAN competition in Algeria.
Obviously, I agree with you. The Nigerian journalists are fond of trying to cast the headlines because there's no how you can equate just a CHAN qualifier to a World Cup ticket that you have
lost. Even if we beat Ghana 20-0,
so you can't erase the memories and the pains and the agony Nigeria went through for lost that ticket to the World to Ghana. But one thing is that it will be more worrisome if it becomes 2.
Yeah,
that's another thing. So if you got Morrison, if Ghana also stop you from qualifying from CHAN, so it becomes
ordinary CHAN in quote.
So it becomes 2-0. So definitely, I agree with you. So the mission and his target to just win your match against Ghana and then progress to the next round of qualifying. But for people to say that that can equate or that can serve as a soft can be some the World Cup ticket we lost to Ghana, that is completely zero. But like I said, but it will become more painful if Ghana also stop us from qualifying. And I have my fear for Salisu Yusuf because this team that is trying to hurriedly assemble, I don't think have enough time to prepare this team for the competition. But he believes he has the job and believes he can do it too. So the only lies on him and his technical group to ensure that at least qualify, proceed again beyond Ghana and provide on for the final.
I agree completely with you. Anyway, to some other news that's like I told you what transpired during the weekend. As of course we have spoken so much about the Anthony Joshua rematch, and of course his bid to recapture the unified heavyweight title suffered another setback as he was beaten for the second time by the man who actually defeated him the first time. That's talking about Alexander Usyk of Ukraine. Hours after his defeat, of course, Kamaru Usman also lost the UFC welterweight championship title to Britain's Leon Edwards in that one. I mean, before we get to even the Kamaru's own, for Joshua, well, some ways we say, like for me, realistically, in as much as my support for him was faint, let me say, coming from a Nigerian perspective, that's what I meant. But realistically, I really didn't see Joshua being able to recapture his titles.
Yes, to some extent, I will agree with you, and to some extent, I will have my different view as concerning that. Yes, if you're looking at Alexander Usyk, you tend to see that he has upper hand against Joshua. But if you watch it, but at the same time, they have to wish Joshua carry that fight. To me, he would have given himself enough more time to prepare and to get against Usyk, who from every sense of human, you can think that is more in pain and ready to avenge the anger on anybody that comes his way. But if you watch that fight closely, will you say Joshua was beaten or he was defeated? But
actually, in this fight, his performance in this fight was better than the first fight. You could see that he improved. He was ready for the fight. I think Usyk had an edge.
That is where I'm coming from. Because
his performance was far better.
Because if you look at the score by the judges, the first judges give to Joshua 115. I believe even the two judges that give to Usyk, the gap is just the first. I'm not one giving to him 115, again 113, and another 116 to 112. So if you look at it, the narrow is very, very close. And I begin to look at it, well, maybe something somewhere Judas could have also would have finally avenged his anger against Usyk. But the fact that Joshua, just like you say, improved in this match and did far better compared to what they did in about 11 months ago. But my anger is now is that 2 straight defeats to one person is completely Joshua is and there's no any better to describe him. That is going to affect him, his career. But how he is going to recover from this is a completely different story, because it will be very difficult for him. But we pray he can speak in surprise and get another fight to relaunch himself, because he needs to relaunch himself now. But if that cannot be done, maybe retirement could have be on the card now.
Well, for the other fight for Kamaru, who lost that. For me, the Kamaru's own was more painful because clearly
it was a
fight he clearly dominated. Apart from the first round where Edwards won, I mean, every other round Kamaru took it. But in combat sports, especially, these things happen all the time. We saw it even during the Olympics.
Yes.
Exactly.
When Odunayo was leading.
Exactly.
With just 2 points.
So he was just
leading.
59.
8 to 2.
Exactly. Kamaru just had 59 seconds to wrap it up, and just a knockout kick and just turned everything in his favor. And that is one thing about combat sports. Sometimes, because if he defeated him clearly, but it was just that, and most times, just like in combat sports, once you knock someone out, even if the person has beaten you for the whole 15 rounds, and is able to knock you out, give you a punch and you knock out, it's over.
And you couldn't respond.
The fight is over.
It's over.
So, but for Kamaru, gone. This is his first defeat since he got into the spring, almost gone 18 fights without defeat. So for him, he's still a champion in my eyes, and Kamaru will bounce back in no time, I'm sure, to trace it to collect his belt in no time.
I agree with you, but I agree with some. But sometimes when you are down, you don't take the anger in you, say you want to bounce back. But in his agent as well, for his manager need to talk to him, need to calm him. Both the psychologist need to talk to him to calm him, because you don't when you are in defeat, you need to calm your nerves. You don't need to taste that aggression, that anger. say I must get this in the back. He need to take his time, study what went wrong, and before he get back into the match. But we still believe that he's still very young and he still have the strength. It is his field. Yeah. He's better in that category. He's better than any other person. But this guy Edward was just lucky to get him. Exactly. He was just lucky. Maybe somewhere someone just threw that push and he get that push right.
Exactly.
Even if you'll be surprised,
he was. I mean, he said it clearly.
He was completely beaten in that game, but luck smile on him and he get it.
All right, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, Sport Orbit continues. Don't go nowhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that break onto Sports Orbit, still where Sports Minister Sunday Dare has charged Anthony Joshua, Kamaru, Usman, and also before we even get to that story, to the Falconets, where the Falconets have also exited the Women's World Cup after defeat to Netherlands. They bowed out after losing 2-0 to the Netherlands on Sunday night. The Falconets could not reenact earlier round performances, which saw them winning all through group phase matches. If you remember clearly, on Friday, I said that here.
Yeah, yes.
I said, I hope this won't be a case. We repeat that with the Super Eagles. Won 3 straight games and already the camp
get into our head.
Exactly. We were celebrating. Look, we are going all the way. This. We are beating everybody. And that day I said, look, we need to be a bit careful here because we know what happened also. We won our 3 first game, and when it mattered most, we felt like a pack of cards, and this scenario just repeated itself once again.
Alpha, I think the one thing is that it is clear that Amayu Pinnick is going, and we are delightfully happy. We are happy about it.
Yeah,
that he has to go. We can't even wait for him to go, because one thing I've discovered from my experience, I've seen that Nigerian team needs psychology. Because we will begin at some of those things that most of the effect that is affecting the Super League is lack of the psychology in the team. There's no anything at the club level that go without having a psychology as part of their backroom staff. So if those guys have a psychology will know how to tell you and how to calm down and how to realize your brain. Yeah. But because you came to the championship and you are beating everybody, you feel you are on top of the world. You feel on top of everybody.
Especially after they beat Canada, which is seen as a strong nation, it was like, okay, we can go all the way.
You have to and you begin to talk anyhow. Even taking your training seriously, you feel that, okay, you have mastered all the game. But forgetting that you play a first match against France, nobody expected you to beat France. You beat France 1-0. Against South Korea, nobody expected you also beat South Korea another 1-0. But against Canada, that's why Canada take the lead. They take the lead in the early day. But he still came back and beat Canada, a strong women team for that matter. 3-0. So definitely, if you know that at least your table and everything is already everywhere. So every opponent that may likely come against you will not take their time critically to follow you. Study your game and know how you plan, know your strength and everywhere you are. But you as another side need not to take more on how to improve. On how you have many, because now if you have Formula 1 that has been working for you, people have not discovered that Formula 1. It's remember what happened at the AFCON you mentioned earlier, where people were saying like Moses Simon was the start. When again they went to Lucia, Martin, that was all. So we need psychologists and at the same time need to improve on the technical know-how of our coaches.
I agree with you because look, these are Europeans. You go to a tournament like this, some teams are watching you. They see you beat a strong team, you beat another one, and you want to confront them, and you think they'll go to sleep.
No.
They would have watched it. What is the secret
Do a
behind
tactical
this
work
team?
against
Yes.
you.
Why are they been winning? Let's watch it and
Know
see.
your
And
strong, know your strength,
exactly.
and then know your weakness to capitalize on.
Exactly, because nobody even expected the Midlands will come out
At
this
all.
way, because
The
when
Netherlands
it comes
struggle,
to exactly
struggle to even qualify
to qualify. So everybody felt. In fact, even the girls shortly for them had said that. In fact,
they already
said we are already
for
in
their mind. They
semi-final.
are already in the
I
semi-final.
could even see some videos yesterday of them on NFF TV where during training, it was like they were having a light training, dancing, celebrating. It was like, look, we are already in the semi-final, so no need to even put in too much effort already. But a sad one, like you said clearly, you need a psychologist who, even when you're winning, when you're in the competition mode, know that, look, until the competition is over, it's not over yet. You can beat a team today, tomorrow that team will still come back.
Come on, beat you, chilling.
Exactly. So, well, in the same vein, Sports Minister Sunday Dare has charged Anthony Joshua, Kamaru Usman, and Falconers to bounce back from the defeat they experienced over the weekend. In a statement by his media aide, said in spite of their losses, Joshua, Usman, and Falconers can keep their head up because they give their best and perform gallantly. He said Nigeria is still proud of them and they remain national heroes and heroines, believing they will bounce back again stronger and better. He also urged Nigerians to rally round the trio and help quicken the process of their recovery, saying when they are on top, they made Nigeria proud. And even at this time of their losses and setbacks, they are still national heroes and heroines who deserve to be supported.
Yeah, I quietly agree with the last paragraph of the story, because when they are top, we all celebrate them. So now that they are done, we also have to rally around and give them all the necessary support, the morale they need to bounce back. Just like they say victory has many fathers, many brothers, and many sisters. But when in defeat, nobody would like to associate with. But this is not the time to abandon those guys, because they make us proud, and we even though Ashun Joshua is not Nigerian by his claim Britain, but at least he came to identify his truth to Nigerians, and Nigeria see him as one of their own, and we celebrate. We celebrate in his glory when he was up there, including Usman Kamaru. So definitely, we have, now that they are down, we also need to give, either in prayer or whatever support we can give, to also give.
Well, for Joshua, some have said since he presented the belt to a certain man and prostrated, since then he has been one problem after the other. Well, that's another story for another day anyway.
I don't want to go there.
Well, tonight, of course, Liverpool United will be in action, and ahead of that match, former United legend and captain Wayne Rooney has said if he was in Ten Hag's shoes, he was going to clearly drop Ronaldo and Rashford for that clash against Liverpool. He said, I wouldn't play Cristiano Ronaldo and I wouldn't play Marcus Rashford against Liverpool. If I was in his position, my main concern would be getting energy on the pitch, and United's failure to recruit a number 9 means they relied on Ronaldo against Brentford. Even though he hadn't trained a lot with the team, he looked like he needed time to get match fit. Well, I mean, since that defeat has been almost like 7 days, so I'm sure he's gotten some good hours of training under his belt.
Well, let's hope so. But if you, I'm not a coach, but if you look at the tactical suggestions by Rooney, he's one of the players he's one of the legends. Just like say at Mayu, and based on his analysis, say that Mayu has no a right man as a striker, and they don't have number 9. You have to rely on Ronaldo, and Ronaldo, you say they are relying on. You are not advising them that they shouldn't play the same players.
That's why he's talking from the perspective of a coach, because his club currently, DC United, are languishing on the bottom of the MLS.
Okay, his club, I mean.
Yeah, that's where Rooney, the coach, is coaching currently
at the championship
in Major League Soccer. Are also bottom of the table.
Bit of the same feathers. So, but what is that tonight's game is going to be a very titanic one. Ten Hag and his men need, or at least if there's anything more than 100% on that concentration on that game, because anything short of victory, well, you can save them some energy if they draw the match. But anything sort of that, another defeat, will put the Old Trafford in crisis and on fire. And if the care is not taking a harsh decision or a mismanagement decision, mistaken decision may be taken that may also compound the problem of the team. So they need to concentrate on this match and to ensure that at least get a draw against Liverpool if they cannot beat Liverpool. But those, what if you look at what Rooney is trying to suggest, but coming against a Liverpool, a more tactical team, but it's not that you need a player who can be very energetic and have strength on the team. But it's looking at if you watch Ronaldo's and Rashford, you only need Ronaldo to give you a goal. You don't need Ronaldo come and fight and help in defense. The same goal to Rashford, and he's speaking from the minds of defensive game of play against Liverpool.
All right, we'll go straight into some games that went down during the weekend in the EPL. Of course, starting from yesterday, where we saw that 6-goal thriller between Man City and Newcastle United, where Man City had to fight back from 3 goals down, 3-1 down. Actually, Man City had taken the lead, but Newcastle scored 3 goals in quick succession. But Man City did well to come back and end that game 3-3. Of course, in other games, West Ham also lost their game against Brighton and Hove, and of course for Chelsea, it wasn't a good Sunday also, as they lost 3-0 to Leeds United also. Well, of course, can we have other results on Saturday?
But if you look at the Newcastle Chelsea, Newcastle Man City match, that is a hallmark of a champion. Either you like it or not, Man City is still a team to beat this season.
No doubt.
And
because at 3-1, I thought that game was over.
Even me, I was thought that game was over. But fortunately for them, they have to go back through Haaland, have to spike the recovery, and then they get a draw. To me, which is a fair result against a Newcastle, having go down 3-2. But and that is the mark of champion. If it's a team that is ready to go and win a title, you begin to discern how they respond when they are down, and they have shown that characters. But for Chelsea, I don't really know what went wrong yesterday. Losing to just lead 3-0 is really unfortunate, and I think Thomas Tuchel need to do a whole lot of work. Although he has explained that there's no more. Although he said that they need to sign more players, but that will not depend. This will not be the reason why they should go into the transfer market. But Chelsea, Chelsea has a whole lot of do. If they must compete with the big teams in the Premier League, because in their back line they have a shortage. Even in off front, they have a shortage.
Of course, in other games, Tottenham 1-0 winners over Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira seems to be doing well. 3-1 over Steven Gerrard's Aston Villa. For Everton, they pulled out a 1-1 draw.
Their first point of the season.
Yeah, then Fulham 3-2 against Brentford. Leicester City not having the best of times. Also, 2-1 lost 1-2 to Southampton. While of course for Arsenal it was 3-0 against AFC Bournemouth away.
So you can see what we were saying in when we were discussing about the Super Falcon. So the Falcon about the match. I would say that in the game of football, the fact that you beat a team does not make you a super that you can beat everything. Exactly. Okay, you can see that Brentford that beat Man U 4-0. See how they suffer.
Fulham, a team who is coming
just
from
a team who have come from the championship, beat them there. Exactly. So in football, 1+1 is not always 1. It's not always 2.
I agree completely. Anyway, so that's that on today's episode. Don't forget another final game of the Premier League tonight. United Liverpool. Also in other leagues, of course, Usman has continued from where he stopped, scoring his second goal of the season.
Yes, scoring the second goal of the season. That, even the coach before the games, the coach that there's no guarantee starting share, and Usman has to continue to push to maintain his number 9 positions in Napoli. But he has not disappointed so far.
Yeah, of course, for Lewandowski also getting on the score sheet for Barcelona also in that 4-1 win. Then for Bayern, seem to have continued from where they stopped. Looks like since Lewandowski left, they've even become a better team, winning 7-0 away. With Sadio Mane scoring 2 of those goals.
You can see you're looking at Bayern even before even before the exit of Lewandowski, it's a strong team, and even with the exit of Lewandowski, even without addition of money, you still see Bayern as a solid team. And now to talk of they have addition of money. Money, who is a complete player, a morale boosting from every angle, and he went to Germany and he began to show that yes, if Money can succeed in the Premier League, succeed in the Premier in the good league, will not be a tough one for him, and he has proved that.
Also in the Ligue 1, also PSG. Also, Klaus Who was it they played with now? I can't remember. But of course, all the three stars are doing very well. Messi, Neymar, Mbappe, all combining very well in that 5-1.
But what is that? When you see Messi, PSG do well in League One, nobody will take that one for to bank. But the ultimate is to see to see them come to the Europe, that is the Champions League, and show that they are one of the best.
All right, that's where we call it a day on today's episode of Sports Orbit. Join us tomorrow again with another exciting edition. Salifu, thank you for being in this studio on this Monday's edition of Sports Orbit.
Thank you, it's always a pleasure.
Well, until we come your way again tomorrow, my name is Afa Acho, and it's goodbye for now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.